What up, everyone? This is Toby and Heidi from Crypto Tips. We
Hey,
are
guys.
live.
We're live and Toby's on it.
All right. Before I begin, I want to go over a couple of crazy things. Okay, so this is October 24th. U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen said this in one day, these two statements. The first off, U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen says we could face financial stability risks. Next, she says, the U.S. economy is healthy, financial system is resilient. What the heck is going on there? Like, these people are crazy, and they are running the show. They know what they're doing. They're getting orders from the 8 families that run the Federal Reserve, and they know exactly what they're doing. Keep in mind that the Federal Reserve is a private company. Oh, we're getting emails, Heidi. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
So yeah, keep in mind that there are definitely, people say it's a conspiracy theory of like how the Federal Reserve actually came about. It is very much a conspiracy. Conspiracy, all that means is like 2 or more people getting together in secret to kind of make a plan to do something, which is exactly how the Federal Reserve was created in 1913. Well, actually, it was created around like 1910 to 1911, and then it was kind of pushed through into the U.S. around 1912, 1913. So Woodrow Wilson was the president back then. And yeah, ever since then, you kind of gave control to your country with central banks. And that is why why people hate banks, because it doesn't work for you that well. You know, banks used to be things where people would put their gold into a brick building, and the people working in the brick building, called a bank, would actually give you IOUs. Well, we don't need to hold gold in a building anymore. We have electronic cash, so we actually don't need these physical buildings anymore. And what your kids, if they're growing up right now, if they're under like the teenagers or whatever, if they're under teenagers, like 10, 9, 10, whatever, they're probably never going to walk inside a bank for the rest of their lives, just because they are archaic. And because crypto has come to the forefront, things have definitely been speeding up. As you know, banks are actually being able to make their own CBDCs as well. Countries are starting to do that, and they would have never been able to do it as fast if it wasn't for Bitcoin and them copying different codes off of what others have copied off of Bitcoin, which is like Ripple, Ethereum, Quant, all these things. So yeah, fascinating. Things are changing so fast in this space. And lastly, I do think we've hit the bottom, and I've been saying that for a long time. I've been sticking my head out saying we've hit a bottom. A lot of people disagree with me, and that's fine. It's totally fine. I might be wrong. It's just my best guess, you know. Mm-hmm. I've been through 3 bear markets by now, and so I kind of have an idea of like what a bear market's like, you know. Actually, sorry, I'll get into this, but like 2020 was a bit of a wake-up call, because we went from like in March 2020, we went from around $6,000 to like $3,300, $3,400 in hardly any time at all. But that was because the whole freaking globe was shutting down. So it makes me wonder, like, what do these people expect that we're going to potentially drop another 50% to $10,000? Like, I mean, unless the whole globe's going to shut down, we just experienced the craziest bull run of the US dollar. We have, you know, the euro is weaker than the dollar now. The pound might go weaker in the future. We also have bond yields absolutely unstable. You know, we had the 10-year at like 4.34 yesterday, on Friday. And stock market not really tumbling. If you really think 35,000 to 30,000 is tumbling, then you haven't been in a crypto. So yeah, and Bitcoin's held brilliantly, even through the lending platforms, through 3AC, Voyager, Celsius. Like, I've heard so many stories of people losing everything. It's still held. So what is it going to take, guys? What is it? Another war? We just went through another war. You know, we're obviously this war between Russia and Ukraine. It's going to be forever. in my opinion. It's going to be like in Afghanistan, essentially. And that's for a reason. They need to keep printing more and more currency. And lastly, just as you saw that 86% of all US dollars that have ever existed were printed over the last 2 years, I mean, you haven't seen anything yet. The Federal Reserve's like, oh yeah, we're doing QT. They're not doing anything. They're printing so much currency. You have no idea the backdoor currency that they're printing right now. They're not only propping up the stock market, but they're also propping up global bond markets as well. As you saw with Japan doing YCC, yield curve control, and you saw the Bank of England outwardly doing yield curve control. I think it was like 10 billion pound per day, and they said they stopped, but nobody can see it because they're not transparent at all. And they're doing repo stuff, which is like another way of printing a bunch of currency. So, anyways, that's my little rant today. It's all messed up, but you know what? We got Bitcoin. It's decentralized, and banks don't have control over it, and that is beautiful.
Mike Jamieson here in the comments, he's saying Bitcoin to 12 to 14K when China goes into Taiwan before the end of the year.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, hey, you know what? That's just my guess. A lot of people
of course,
disagree with me, and that's totally fine. This is what we're all humans, and we all make mistakes.
We also have a very long-term perspective. So generally, it's always a good time to buy crypto.
It doesn't matter either way.
Especially when everyone thinks it's going to go lower. It's usually a good time to buy. Just like when everyone thinks it's going to go higher, it's probably a good time to take profit.
Those $10,000 folks are the same folks, in my opinion, are the ones that said $250,000 when we were at like $70,000. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, I was like leaning towards that. I'm like, okay, we need to blow off top. So I for sure thought we were going over 100,000, and I was wrong. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So just to talk about some other things going on in crypto.
Mike Jamieson, let Heidi talk. Okay, I'm shut up now.
So those of you who were involved or were users of Voyager, kind of have some good news. There's some finality coming, is that the court case is now ruling basically for the deal with FTX.us to purchase the assets of Voyager. And it looks like the users that had deposits on, or not deposits, but had lent Voyager their funds because they're creditors, they're going to get 72% of their worth back. And depending on how you are interested in getting it back, if you want to get crypto back, any form of crypto, it's not going to be in the Voyager tokens or just in one thing. It could be a culmination of different things yet to be determined. But if you want to get crypto back, basically you're going to have to create an account on FTX to claim that. If you don't want to, get paid out in crypto, if you don't want to create an account on FTX, which totally understand, you're probably a little bit jaded of any centralized platform by now, I hope, you will get a cash settlement from the Voyager fund, basically. So there are options out there. Also, there's some executives from Voyager that will be having a payout to the creditors to the tune of either $1 to $3 million up to $20 million because of that bad loan that they had issued to Three Arrows Capital. Those are due to some insurance claims. And through that payment, they're going to be, not responsible for any more court. You can't take them to court anymore after that. So FTX is purchasing the assets of Voyager for $1.4 billion. And so it's good to see that this is actually going down much faster than I thought. I thought this would be dragged out for years. Maybe Celsius is going to be a slightly different issue. Looks like they're still trying to get to the bottom of all of the happenings of what was going on with Celsius and their balance sheet. So maybe some good news. 72% is, again, much better than I thought too.
Yeah. Who do you think, how much money was lost compared, who lost more, Celsius or Voyager?
Oh, I think Celsius. Celsius had like people were describing it as like once the people who were potentially going to buy it, once they saw what their books had, there was like, I don't know how many of $1 billion hole in their books that they couldn't account for, that no one wanted to touch it. No one wanted to buy it. So I think that says a lot for the mismanagement of Celsius.
Man, did we get a lot of crap for that. When we said, they attacked us big time when we called them out a month before that happened. Celsius.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did the video the other day about Sam Bankman-Fried, and surprisingly, I thought there was one commenter who felt the need to defend Sam, but a lot of people I think are not into it, which is refreshing. But there are quite a few people in this crypto space that have a very avid following, and they will defend them almost, to the end. The Celsius
no matter how
were
centralized,
definitely like that.
Yeah.
Alex Mashinsky was really good at manipulating people, I think.
He could have been a great cult leader.
Maybe he was, and we don't know about it. Also, the Ripple case versus the SEC. They finally got a hold of the documents from the SEC that they did not want to have come to light. I think it took a year and a half of requesting, and what do they say? How many court orders? 6 court orders to get access to these documents. And the documents were referring to the speech made by the past SEC chairman saying, he made a speech, I remember this in 2018, he said specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities, or he doesn't think that they are securities. It wasn't an official statement. They try to say it was his opinion, but the documents that were now entered into court show basically, they were talking about this before. So again, the documents are still private. They aren't made public yet. But I remember they were trying to prove that in the documents that these documents are basically the discussions between the past CEO chairman and their legal team, and how they were writing this speech that he would be given publicly. So they're trying to say that there was official guidance in. And it's not just him, just his rampant, flippant opinion. He had legal, and he had a lot of people talking to him, helping him on the speech, talking about how Ethereum is not a security. And I think Ripple's angle at this is trying to say that the SEC was giving special privileges to Ethereum. And so, it's basically unfair and all of that. And again, obviously, this is trying to further Ripple's case in that they're not a security. Of course, the SEC is going to say, it's a rock solid case. We have so much evidence. Clearly, Ripple is a security. But every time there's news coming out about this case, it seems to be in favor of Ripple. So it'd be really nice to see if they win this.
Here's why I don't think anything's going to happen to Ripple as far as bad is concerned, is because Brad Garlinghouse, he is a board member of the World Economic Forum. So, they are also using Ripple on FedNow, which is a part of the Federal Reserve, as a bridging currency. So, they're testing out. They're not going to use, just keep in mind, they're not going to use Ripple as a CBDC. They're gonna take little bits of Ethereum, Ripple, Quant, anything, and go ahead and make their own closed source crypto, or essentially it is crypto. It's a closed source crypto CBDC. So it's some pretty crazy stuff that's happening, but I think they're going to win, or at least if they do get sued or fined, it's going to be nice little slap on the wrist and that's it. And then boom, you're going to see Ripple take off. Let's say hi to people.
Hi, people.
Yeah. What's up?
Josh Atkinson at the start, he said, I officially demand a rant from Toby. And
you got it.
You were talking about banks earlier, and it just came to my memory of, 3 months ago, we had to send money for a donation using Western Union because cryptocurrency isn't an option yet. And Toby ranted in person to the guy at Western Union.
Yeah, what did I say? Oh, geez.
So
I
it
was so
basically-
pissed.
Well, because it was like a 20% fee
Ridiculous.
to send it from Western Union to Western Union.
Oh yeah, and here's what they said. I'm like, why does it cost? They're like, it costs much more because it's further away. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's like saying an email costs like this much to go here and this much to go there. I said, you're lying. What's the real reason? And they're like, no, this is real. I'm like, that's bullcrap. It should be the same. And I said, Bitcoin's gonna put all of you guys out of business, and I cannot wait. And I was pissed.
I was sitting a little bit further away, so I couldn't hear what the guy was saying or what Toby was saying, but I heard that part of it where Toby was like, Bitcoin's going to take you out of business, right? I was like, oh, I should be filming this. It's so good.
I mean, at least tell me the truth of like why it is taking that much, or it's just because Western Union wants to just siphon money out of people.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I made a little rant. Should I ever put it up there?
I don't know. The sound quality is kind of bad. That's why we haven't posted it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we'll try to find it and maybe kick it out there. But anyways,
oh yeah.
Let's say
sorry.
some people. So okay.
Twin Wolf, GD, Archer. Thank you guys so much for
Andy Wong. What's up,
being
guy?
the moderators today. Everyone say hi
Rio,
to the moderators.
Good to see you.
Sergio,
Archer.
Yeah, it's baby waves.
Robert.
Toby still had fun this morning. They went out and foiled a little
Shaq
bit.
O'Neal. Wow, Can you see Solana surviving this bear
Shaquille?
market?
Is it really you?
Absolutely. I think Solana is definitely going to survive the bear market. Especially I think their NFTs are doing incredible. So yes, we did have a capitulation in a lot of NFTs on Solana, but I'm holding on to them because I think that the NFTs on Solana, like OK Bears, and Degenerate Ape Academy. I know these sounds really ridiculous, but I think they're going to outperform Solana. So yeah.
And it's super secure because they can just shut down the blockchain.
Shut down the blockchain. Anyways, go for it, Heidi.
Is there anything else okay. If you guys have a question, go ahead and do all caps. Type in all caps question or do @CryptoTips and it'll get our attention. We're going to go through and get some questions as well. If you guys want to leave a super chat to make sure that your comment gets our attention and we can read it out loud, that is an option as well.
Patrick, I'm not being a Karen. What are you talking about?
Karen? Oh, with Western Union. A crypto Karen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emmanuel, good to see you from Romania.
Oh.
We were actually, congratulations.
Thanks
you
for
joined
joining
the
CT Club. A good friend of mine is Romanian.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
we were actually looking into incorporating over
starting
there
a
as
business
well.
there.
It's pretty good taxes over there.
In terms of Europe, it's probably the best
Yeah.
for taxes, but we'll see.
For sure. Or Cyprus.
We did have one question here. CDC, good, nice name.
CDC, okay.
Question. Hi, HNT. Can you please elaborate on why you think we have hit the bottom? I personally think the end of Q1, beginning of Q2 2023 is when we really bottom out. This is based on previous cycles. I mean, I'll speak for me personally.
Sure.
And you can say your part if you want.
Yeah.
I think that we won't see much lower. If we do go lower, I think it's going to be right around the point that we already hit. I think the accumulation phase that we've seen for the past several months now is
5 months.
Is kind of proof that we are in that accumulation phase. Maybe we'll see one little capitulation down, but nothing down to, I don't think we're going to see 10,000. That's just, yeah. And to think that something like, let's say someone referenced what's happening in China and Taiwan, that would be the thing that instigates it. I think that the market cycle of Bitcoin does what it does regardless of what's happening, on a macro level, other than, something much bigger happening than that.
And keep in mind, if something does happen with another war, what happens with war? The currency printer goes nuts. So yes, if we do go to war, we might see 1817 again, whatever, maybe.
Yeah.
And then spike up because eventually they're going to be printing tons of currency, especially as the stock markets around the world get hammered. You're going to have the plunge protection team, which is, I think it was set up by under Reagan. I think it was called I forgot what it was called, but yeah, it's a way for the Federal Reserve to go ahead and essentially print and buy stocks. So they actually have a trading desk. Yes.
A lot of people will
Federal
deny this.
Reserve has a trading desk, and they go ahead and buy as much stock as they want to go ahead and prop up the stock market and they actually prop up the bond market as well. I've been saying they've been propping up the bond market for a long time, and now it's finally coming out that Bank of Japan and the Bank of England is YCC, or doing yield curve control, which is essentially injecting liquidity into the bond market to stabilize the debt market, which, if the debt market gets imploded, that's it for, your banking institutions. That's it. It's finished. It's going to be pandemonium. So I'm glad they're not going to, I don't think they want to do that, because it would put strain on their already plan to create like a CBDC. Like for me, like what I've posted on Twitter a couple months ago, I said, listen, all central banks, all governments are in collusion with each other. All right. So they're all working together in unison to go ahead and, create CBDCs, create social credit scores for people around the world. And if you wonder, like, why would they do that? Well, think about the creation of the Federal Reserve. We had the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, and the Carnegies, they were essentially working against each other. They were competing against each other, and they're like, hey, one day they're like, hey, let's get together and let's get the wealthiest people in the world together and let's create a central bank. Why not? Let's do it. And now they work in unison, and they've absolutely killed it. Look at the Federal Reserve balance sheet. It's almost $10 trillion. And that is them buying up the world, essentially. So, and they'll continue on doing that. They own the world. They essentially, once you own the printing press, who cares about the laws? That's like Rothschild's famous quote that he said. And yeah, that's kind of it. So I don't expect a war, or especially a nuclear war. People are scared of a nuclear war now. And I'm 99.9999999% sure that's not going to happen. Just because these globalists, they want to live in a world that they don't have to worry about radiation. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to think of it that way.
Yeah. Great questions here, guys. Thank you. Robert Bianchi, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, do you think most of the L1 coins will fully recover? And also, what do you think the market cap will peak in the next bull market? That's a good question. I don't know.
Well, the L1s, okay, so, Ethereum is going to, I think, definitely recover. Solana, I think, will recover.
Usually the top 10 become more and more solidified the longer that they're around, right?
Sure, yeah. And then you have another one. It's called...
Cardano?
No.
XRP?
APT, I think that's what it's called. It was a huge funding, VC funding behind it, and that is an L1. Yeah, but hold on. But it will compete against Solana. It'll compete against Ethereum.
Oh.
Or potentially it'll... What?
There's these articles I read, just like the titles, and there's one that said like the Solana killer, so that must be it. I didn't actually read the article.
I think Solana's got...
It just makes me laugh when people say, oh, Ethereum killer or like Solana killer. Like, just what is it? What is it? And how is it different? Because now you're just using that name as your marketing, your competition, you're leveraging it, I'm
not buying that. I think they're going to work alongside each other. Like it'll be competition. Like Solana's not going away. It'll be a competition, and there's more competition, so it's good. There's more choices out there, and the more time goes on, there's going to be more and more choices. But I think a lot of L1s are going to die off, which is good. That's called market governance. All right, so that's the market kind of governing this space. Going, okay, well, you're not good enough. You're out of here. Yeah. Let's see what this one is. So I think, and the top of the market.
Yeah. What do you think the market cap will be at the peak of the next bull run?
I'd say like 5 to 10 trillion.
Ooh. We hit $1 trillion.
Yeah. That's total market cap. That's not just Bitcoin or whatever.
No, the market cap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mo, thank you for the super chat as well. He said, question 1, what would make you invest in Solana as much as into Ethereum? Well, if they stop shutting down the blockchain, that would help.
Yeah, that's interesting one.
If it wasn't for that, it's got so much going for it. But like for me, that's a giant.
Also, the developers on Ethereum, you know, if they started migrating over to
That's true.
to Solana, and they like proof of time better than proof of stake.
They're also well with Solana. They use
Is it
a
still
combination
proof of
of
time?
both. They use a combination of both.
Okay, yeah.
Also, second question: when EU meetup? I don't know yet. I'm gonna be having to converse with Archer to see how we can figure out the logistics of that. I have zero experience of organizing events. I have some friends who might be able to help. But yeah, that's definitely early stages. If you're in the CT Club, I'm definitely going to be doing some shout outs as well. Or maybe, you know, just here on YouTube, if we can get it going, you guys will be the first to know. Oh, this skipped a lot. Also, CDC, thank you for the super chat. They said, thank you, Heidi and Toby. Oh, you're welcome.
Definitely.
Marshall 127. What did you do prior to crypto? We're going to give you the short version because we still haven't even covered the main topic of today's video, but that's okay. Maybe I'll save it for tomorrow's video, talking about while these people are leaving crypto. But he's asking, what did you do prior to crypto? We're just normal people.
I did gold and silver trading, so I'd follow the COMEX and I'd essentially, because I'm really good with pattern recognition, so I could see where they would they would pump the market in the beginning and the beginning of the day. So this is like traditional stock market, and then they would dump it at the end of the day. So I would buy at like 10 minutes before the market closed, I was in this one called Silver Wheaton, and I would buy it and I would leverage the crap out of it, and then the next morning I would immediately sell it because it'd be up, and I would win. I would make money like 90% of the time. It was so, because I understood how manipulated the price of gold and silver are. Yeah. And so it was way easier to do that. And with Bitcoin, it's much more difficult because you can't own all. You know how much Bitcoin is out there, and you can't own it all. Like the COMEX essentially owns the LBMA. You have the Federal Reserve. All these people in collusion, they own all the silver and gold in the world pretty much. They own,
and they decide how much it will sell for.
Exactly. And if the price starts rising, guess what? They're going to start digging more, right? So they're going to get more onto the market to lower the price. And that sucks. That's why I love Bitcoin. It's inelastic. So no matter how much the price goes up, you can't print anymore. Yeah. And then I also did Uber and Lyft. Yeah. And so I lived.
Can you imagine Toby being your Uber driver? I would love that.
Well, I know, but because I could listen to podcasts and audiobooks when I was driving, and I could kind of do it together, and then I just educate myself, listen to like the Federal Reserve. Like there's so many good books about that, and like there's so many ways to educate yourself, and I just wanted to know more about the financial system, and that's kind of what led me over to Bitcoin. But yeah, that's what I did, and then I lived on the floor in a room of like 5 other guys, like just all scattered around the floor, just living cheap and just putting everything I could into Bitcoin because I knew it was going to change the world. And every one of my friends and family thought I was absolutely nuts. I was just ridiculed. And it just gave me that fire to keep going because I knew they were all wrong. And I knew I was going to do way better than any of them could ever do. And so, yeah, it was really nice. And then I remember this one time, I'll stop this. No. But I was driving Uber. It was New Year's Eve. My friend called me up. Hey, dude, there's chicks, there's girls, let's come on, meet us here. I'm like, no, I'm driving Uber and I'm going to do well tonight. I'm going to put it in a Bitcoin. He's like, oh, you're going to do this for the rest of your life. I'm like, listen, I'm going to retire before you know it. And boom, I'm so happy I could think for myself and not listen to my friends and family. I think Napoleon Hill said, if you listen to your friends, or how to be successful, or unsuccessful is to listen to your friends, family, and relatives, or something like that. And like I ignored all of them, and that was the best choice I could have ever made. Yeah. Anyways.
It pays to be contrarian.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my rant. It's my second rant.
I think we talked about this too in a lot of past videos, but maybe we'll do another like kind of video talking about that.
There's some other good questions here.
Oh yeah, what was one was from It's a Great Day 976. Do you feel comfortable keeping your crypto on exchange long term? I could be wrong, but it looks like Ledger supports APT but not GMX. So if you buy, it will be stuck on exchange wallet.
So
it depends how much we're investing in it.
Yeah, for GMX, I don't have too much of it. I've been stacking, but you know, it is on a centralized exchange right now. It's actually gaining yield. So yeah,
but if you have to keep it on an exchange, keep it on one that offers insurance in case they get hacked. There's an insurance fund to protect your side of your account. Yeah, do 2FA, not through a text message, not through SMS, but through apps like Authy or Google Authenticator.
Yeah, Google Authenticator. That drives me nuts.
Don't use a password that you use for everything else. Generate a secure password. All the security things that you can to protect yourself.
Use a VPN. And if you want
don't use public Wi-Fi. Use a VPN. Use Mullvad. MU, M as in mouse, ULL, V as in van, AD.
And you can get paid. You can pay in crypto. Which
they
is
don't
great.
want any of your information. They don't want your name, your address, nothing. So it's a lot more private, as a VPN should be.
If you do find a VPN that wants your information, like even an email, it's worthless. It's good as nothing. Seriously. Yeah.
Best place to find out how much Bitcoin is actually on exchanges.
I think Glassnodes.
Yeah, Glassnodes is pretty good for on-chain data. That's a good topic for a video too. Is
actually,
like how to find
a really good thing I saw in Glassnodes today was the amount of Ethereum on exchanges is at a 5-year low. So people have been buying up Ethereum like crazy, and that's why I do think Ethereum is definitely going to go to all-time highs and well above, especially this next bull run. Especially because institutions are going to be buying the crap out of it since it's a lot more regulated. Unfortunately, it's more regulated, but it doesn't matter. I don't care because we still have Bitcoin. We still have other ways, other forms of currency that is working to be decentralized. So.
Bully McGuire says, "What's the family say now?"
Oh, blown away. A couple of my friends are like, it kind of like, you have those friends that are super happy for you, and then I've had the friends that are really jealous and don't want to hear it, and it kind of sucks, but that's just human nature, and you don't know that
they
until
really
after.
feel the need to like defend their position, and like they sink into it regardless of if it's actually beneficial for them or not.
To get a little personal, like my extended family, like totally disowned me, right? Like totally disowned me, and they live in Missouri and they do their own things or whatever. They're more of they trust the government on pretty much everything, Fox News people, CNN, whatever. So, but they haven't talked to me since I got into crypto and stuff, because it's the crazy thing is like I would call them. I'm like, hey, I've learned this. Like, what's going on? Because I thought people would want to hear this stuff when I was learning about the Federal Reserve and like how money is created. And they're like, you're too extreme, pretty much, and that was it. So. But I have a new family, which is great. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
My family loves you.
Pivx.
Yes, Blocknet. Can you imagine if they kept going?
Gosh, if you know what Blocknet and Pivx is, then you are OGs.
I was really hopeful for that project.
For sure. Who knows? They're not completely gone.
They're not doing what they used to be, I don't think.
Is a new Ledger X a good wallet? Heidi is actually going to
I was going to show this.
Look at that baby right there. Is it upside down? Yeah. So there you go.
If it's gonna, sometimes it takes forever to. Yeah. So
here, I'll try. Does it do it?
Just wait a second. Wait, let's hide behind it.
Forget it. But yeah, that is the new.
So Ledger Nano X,
actually.
Ledger hardware wallets is a really good hardware wallet manufacturer and company in general. Nano X is good if you want to be like holding a lot of different types of cryptocurrencies. If you don't need that much like space for the applications on the device and you're just gonna be holding like maybe 1 or 2 cryptos, the Ledger Nano S is a really good option. Also, this one, the Ledger Nano S Plus, which is going to be the next wallet that I do a tutorial and review on. I haven't used it yet. I have used the X, so definitely a fan of that one. So we'll see. Yeah, you don't trust the Bluetooth. I think that's why the Nano S Plus is, for me, I'm going to like it better than the X, because the X has Bluetooth capabilities, and if you're really into privacy and being sure that it's actually cold storage, that could be possibly something to worry about in the future, but I don't think that's too
Josh
too
doesn't trust the Bluetooth. I wouldn't either, man. Yeah. Let's see. Let's end it with like doing a shotgun, whatever. So Toby, too extreme? No, he just foils. I don't like foiling that much, but my friends do. Sergio. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Any micro caps you like? There's some micro caps on Arbitrum.
In a bear market? I'm just kidding.
There's some micro caps on Arbitrum that I'm looking at right now. But if you want to see what we're in, check us out on our CT Club. Yeah. The link is down below. Otherwise, it'd be unfair if I gave out my favorite micro caps. Yeah. But I did give out some I think like Arbitrum, they are coming out with their with an airdrop. I think potentially they're going to create a token, and I will definitely be bullish on that. I've been bullish on GMX for a while, since it was pretty much a microcap until now, and it's I think it's just getting started, and you're going to see Arbitrum definitely take over. I think Arbitrum and Optimum are doing like huge amounts of transactions, and I think it should continue. Yeah. Oh, Foxcoy, good old metal plate and carving pencil is the best. Yeah. Go analog as possible for the crypto that you want to hold super duper long term. You want the private key, the seed phrase, to be as permanently saved as possible. Crypto Steel is also a really good tool if you guys don't have access to, stainless steel and a soldering iron or something to do it yourself. But yeah, Crypto Steel is cool. When website? Yeah, we're working on it. Like we said, we were checking out Romania for our business that's tied to the website. We're trying to do this the right way the first time. And so we've been coming out with... we spoke about it last live stream, all of the stuff that we went through. We've been running into some hiccups, and it's I hate bureaucracy. It sucks. But we are definitely working on it as fast as we can, because we don't want to use that system anymore. I'm not going to say it. Yeah. And we want to make sure that the option that we choose is as crypto friendly as possible, so then we can offer and continue to offer crypto payments, so we don't have to make any changes, because this country is like flip-flopping on their stance on crypto. Monkey Magic, seeing how the CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko manipulate ranking data. Which sides do you prefer? I don't really care about that as much, because I do my own research on these coins, but I prefer CoinGecko. I prefer CoinGecko. I mean, they both have their ups and downs. Yeah. But I mean, that's just what I've used. I used to use CoinMarketCap until I think what was Binance bought it. Binance bought it, then I switched. Now suddenly Binance is all over it. Like freaking A. But you know what? To give Binance credit, like, if you look at what Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX is doing, and then you look at what Binance is doing, I think Binance is more crypto friendly than FTX. So I like them better. C. Edwards, thank you for the $10. Appreciate it, man. So nice. Thank you so much. Okay. So tomorrow's video, you guys can look forward to the content. Are we talking about all the people who are quitting crypto? And what do they know that we don't know? Yeah, or is it something like that happening, or are we just overthinking it? That's going to be the topic of the video. But lastly, I just want to cover one last thing. Okay, so Christian Cryptopia says Cryptopia. Yeah, that was a real bummer, because I had coins on that. Yeah. I had a lot of coins on that, and it just, poof, see you later. That was the only time I've ever had my coins. Oh, wasn't that Crypsy? Oh, that was Crypsy. Never mind. But Cryptopia also went down and took people's but Crypsy see you later. That really sucked. It was like Mt. Gox and then Crypsy basically. Yeah. Anyways, that's it, guys. We should end it. It's 40 minutes. We said 30
I
minutes.
know we're trying to keep these short for the people who
But
are
I like
rewatching it.
answering questions, so
Yeah.
it's good. Do you guys invest in Casper? Casper Labs? Yeah, I haven't invested in it, but like I've researched a lot of it, and yeah, it could do really well, especially during the next bull market. So it took quite a hit, but yeah, it should be fine. And there's tons of liquidity involved as well. So I had some Doge on Toby. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. But there's another coin called what is it?
Archer said I had some Doge on Topia.
TSUKA. That's another one that I've got into. That's the creator of Shiba Inu. He created his own coin. So I've been slowly accumulating that, as the CT Club knows. Anyways, guys, that is all. Please like and subscribe.
Yes.
And thank you guys for the super chats, and thanks for talking and your great questions. And we look forward to doing this next week.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for your questions. And I'm just repeating what Toby just said. But yeah, we'll see you next week.
Jeez, Heidi, just wait a just bye.
Sorry. I get like a robot sometimes.